Hey guys, Fletch Football Observer here, and today's Fletch Talks video is going to be centering around the breaking news story that has broken within the past few minutes of recording, and that is that Quique Sanchez Flores of Watford has been sacked from his position as the Hornets manager. This of course comes 3 months on from him succeeding former Watford manager Javi Gracia and being reappointed as the Watford manager, and really things haven't improved at all at Vicarage Road, or at least not by much. Of course, I say that with him having a previous spell at the club back in 2015 where he only lasted a season. He hasn't even lasted 90 days in this current job. Apparently there was a meeting today at the club's training ground between himself, the Hornets chairman, and the owner to review his performance, and the official conclusion is of course the sacking of the Spaniard. He will now be out of a job, and I am guessing it is now underway in finding his successor. The news obviously breaks not even 24 hours following Watford's latest defeat in a bottom of the table clash against Southampton, with the Saints coming out 2-1 winners thanks to a quick fire double, turning the game around in the second half. And really, you can probably only say that the writing was on the wall. He's been in charge of Watford for 10 games. He took over when they were bottom of the table. They'd only accumulated 1 point from a possible 12. 10 games following his appointment, only 1 win, 4 draws and 5 losses, along with a League Cup run that included him beating Swansea in the third round, and then losing to Everton in the fourth. It hasn't been a great spell. It's not something that he will want to be writing home about or probably putting on his CV. It hasn't been great at all. Dismal form, the worst goal scoring record in the division so far, and the joint second worst defence on record too, doesn't spell the kind of good form that Watford wanted going forward. Doesn't spell the kind of good form he wanted when he took over and reappraised his role as Watford manager, shall we say. And really, you can only say that the win against Norwich a couple of weeks ago was the highlight. The win against Norwich a couple of weeks ago was a 2-0 effort. We really thought from that point on that could finally reignite the season for Watford. That could finally push them in the right direction towards pushing towards a Premier League safety, relegation battle that they can probably push towards safety on. Clearly, in a couple of weeks that followed, it hasn't happened. They've had crucial games, crucial fixtures that they just haven't managed to get any kind of decent result from. And on reflection, you can probably say it's understandable. You know, there's 6 points adrift at the bottom of the table from safety. You can understand why the Watford team, who have been getting into more and more dangerous water with every passing disappointing defeat, why they would take this form of action. This is of course a club that prides himself on being a Premier League status team. This is a team that has been for years trying to stabilise themselves to be within the Premier League and to try and push on and progress, but clearly this season it hasn't quite worked out, and now they're searching for their third manager already this season, and we're not even past the New Year point yet. You look ahead to December, whoever's going to come in now will have a tough set of fixtures coming up. Immediately, they'll have Leicester on Wednesday. Whether they get a replacement for then or not, or whether they have an interim manager, probably remains to be seen. Crystal Palace then follow, and then you've got Premier League leaders Liverpool and then Man United all on the horizon. They're huge games. They're games that, looking at the current state of things, you probably wouldn't expect them to get anything out of or much out of, and they could even be further cut adrift at the bottom of the table. So it's going to be a really tough month for Watford ahead, regardless of who they bring in. And whoever they do bring in, you've got to say that this could represent the final roll of the dice for Premier League survival for this club. It was a huge gamble initially to bring in Sanchez Flores in the first place. You spend then ages trying to stabilise themselves at a top flight club. You bring in a manager who was formerly at the club to try and count on his experience of both the club and the Premier League. Clearly hasn't worked. whoever comes in now will clearly be the last roll of the dice, so to speak, for this club in terms of Premier League survival. And the one name that's been mentioned very early on is Chris Hughton. Chris Hughton is, in my opinion, a very good manager. I've always liked him wherever he's gone. He's been at some good clubs and performed well there. He's got a lot of experience in the Premier League and Championship. You know, he's managed the likes of Newcastle, Norwich and Brighton. So clearly, I think if he does get that role, if Watford do appoint him as the manager, as the successor to Sanchez Flores, it would be to stick with him. He's in a very tough position walking into the club. They're bottom of the league, like I said. They're 6 points adrift. Yes, we are coming towards the midway point of the season, but it's still going to be a tough ask with the players that he's got. A January transfer window coming up in which, unless you have the money, you probably might not be able to get the players you want. So even if they go down, my advice would be to stick with Hughton if obviously that is the direction they're going in. Stick with him because he knows the Championship. He's got promoted from the Championship before. Hughton would be the way to go, but of course we'll wait and see on that score. But ultimately, Quique Sanchez Flores has been sacked from his role as manager of Watford Football Club, and it remains to be seen who his successor is. But following a run of 10 games in which they've only picked up 1 win, 6 points adrift at the bottom, it hasn't ended well for the Spaniard. And that about wraps it up for now. That about wraps up this video for now. So I want to know what you guys think, because obviously this is one man's thoughts and one man's opinion on this particular topic. I want to know, do you think it was right for Sanchez Flores to be sacked? Who do you want to see appointed as the new manager, as his successor? And what do you think the rest of the season holds for Watford Football Club? I'd love to read your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things will be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch, the Football Observer. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video.